Shalom Ubracha on this fantastic day, this day of the 19th of Kislev. As we know historically, the Balatanya was released from prison, and as well we have a Yortzeit of the Maggid of Mezrich. And there's so much depth within these days, it's actually incredibly profound, and if we stop to think about it and share, there's a lot that we can glean from these days. I'd like to share with you one idea amongst the many ideas connected to this day. So let's start off with a concept that we've shared before, that there are three modes of living. There's three different modes of living that we have spoken about. The first mode is to live an imprisoned life, a caged life, a life where we are functioning from our nefesh, we're functioning from our ego, we're functioning from our lower self. So this way of living does not necessarily breed the greatest fulfillment of happiness. We live with stress, fears, anxiety, and all the other things that we really would rather stay away from. What happens when we choose to deal with our issues? We could move into another mode of living, and that's a mode of living called comfortability. So what happens is we can say that we've dealt with our issues, we're developing, we're moving forward in our lives, and we've now become comfortable with our way of living. Now this sounds very good, comfortability. However, what tends to happen with comfortability is things become stale. Things become stale. And more than that, comfortability can very easily go back to living an imprisoned life, that which you were imprisoned on one level with, in a life of comfortability, that becomes your new imprisoned state. There's another form of living, the third form of living, and this is ideally what we want. We want to be living a charged and cosmic life. We want to be living with enthusiasm, with excitement, hitchachus. We want to be living and mamash experiencing hislavus. We want to be in love with the world, alive with the world. This is a charged and cosmic life. And this is very much the two ends. The caged life is what the Balatanya really expressed to us, that we can live a caged life. He was mamash in prison. He was in prison. He was sitting in prison. And he said, even though I'm in prison, I'm going to break free. I'm going to break free, and I'm going to suggest, and I'm going to show, express and explain the way of living of the Maggid of Mezrich, living with the Vekas, living a charged life, living an enthusiastic life. And we can all partake in that. We can have that bracha. We can all partake in living a dynamic life. It's being mindful, and it's practicing to recognize that love and light and laughter is all around us. And the reality is, it's there for the taking. It's there for the taking. Once one of the tzaddikim says, I've got a good job offer. Not many people are in this job. There's a lot of vacancies, and more than that, it's a very good return. It's the job of a tzaddik. There's many placements to be a tzaddik, and it's something we choose. It's something we have to choose. Aisa masa bereshis hitchachus. That every single day is created anew, and many times a day there's a newness which is open there for us. And this is something so important to remember, my friends, because as I speak to you, I'm not speaking to you and lecturing. I'm just giving you a paradigm that you can live with, a life of wow, a life of pella, not just a life of teva. So many people live in this present world. Let's grow from the imprisonment into a comfortable world, and from a world of comfortability into a thriving world, Let me speak about three modes that we could use in order to move into a life of thriving. I was once speaking to a tzaddik, and he said that the Maggid of Mezrich told us about the child and what we can learn from a child. So this tzaddik said there's three more things that we could learn from a child's behavior. And remember, we're called Bnei Israel. Part of our functioning should be like a child, the curiosity of a child, the aliveness of a child. But we see something really interesting, and this is what the tzaddik pointed out, that with a child, we can ask a question: where does the most growth occur in the human being physically? Where does the most growth occur? So obviously by a child. What comes with that growth? So the first mode is vulnerability. We have to be conscious, practitioners of vulnerability, opening up in safe spaces, being with our friends, experiencing sichas chaverim. Vulnerability is the first mode, which is really important in order to grow. The second mode is having the ability to let go and forgive. Anyone who's got children, they see this wild reality that occurs in a child's paradigm. One moment they are best friends with their friend. The next minute they hate them because they did something to them. And then a few minutes later, bang, they're running around best friends again. They forgive so easily. They forget so easily. And there's many areas of our life where we want to forget and forgive. We don't want to hold on. We don't want to hold grudges. It doesn't help us. It doesn't help with my life quality of living a better life. So I want, number one, to live a life of vulnerability in the right areas, in the right places, in the right ways. Number two, to have the ability to let go. Look at the good. Look at what I do have. Don't constantly look at what we don't have or what this person... Look at all the good in my life, a life of gratitude. And the third is, in life, if we want to grow, we need to take risks. Kids are forever taking risks. They're doing nuts things, but that's how they learn. That's how a kid learns. And that's something so important to remember, that when we're living life, we want in the right spaces, in the right places, to be taking risks. In life, we want to be experiencing the ability to learn the trait of letting go, forgiving. And as well, we want to experience vulnerability. And if we live a life where we're practicing vulnerability, we're practicing letting go, and if we live a life where we're taking the risks in the right places, that could lead up to breaking out of the imprisoned life into the comfortable life, and as well, breaking out of the comfortable life to live a cosmic charged life. So Be'ezras Hashem, my beautiful friends, we should be blessed where we could live a comfortable and cosmically charged life. And Be'ezras Hashem, in order to do that, we can practice in the right place, in the right way, at the right time, to practice the ability to be vulnerable, to consciously practice the reality of letting go and forgiving, and as well to practice in the right spaces, in the right ways, with a consciousness, the ability to take the risks. And Be'ezras Hashem, adding up to a life where we love deeply and we love expandedly, and we live the fullest, most passionate version of ourselves that we can. Be'ezras Hashem, we should all have bracha, mazel, and hatzlacha, mamash kol yeshuas l'olam va'ed.